Hello world, let's tackle this activity 2.4 number 8. Looks a little bit maybe more tricky than the last one. However, I would encourage you to break it up into two separate sketches. So we'll do the base, the bottom here, and then we'll add on the top part right here. So here we go. As we get to Inventor and we open up a new part, we just want to make sure that it's in inches. So we'll just start by clicking on, what is that? The XZ plane, this base, this bottom one right here. And let's create a rectangle, and I can see right here on my screen that it says 0 inches, Y is 0 inches, so I know I'm in inches. Just in case you're not in inches, make sure that you either start a new part and go back to standard and things like that. So I'm all good. Let's see, 0.75 inches, and I'm going to type in 0.75, and then I'm going to hit the tab button and type in 1.75 on my keyboard, hit enter. Again, I'm going to double tap this center mouse button, and you can see it does it for me. So it kind of straightens it all out. I'm going to hit finish sketch, and then I'm going to click extrude, and that is super tall. So I'm going to change this dimension right here to 0.25, and there we go. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. If you do not have your model on, so for example, if you are working with something that looks like this, I really encourage you to turn it on by going to View, User Interface, and then Model. You really want to get comfortable seeing this over here. It shows you your steps. Also, you can just check yourself. So I'm going to hit this arrow down after the extrusion. I'm going to go to my sketch here, and just by clicking on it, you can see the dimensions. So I have 1.75 is my left to right, and 0.75 is my depth. According to this drawing right here, I'm going to go off the back side and then bring it forward. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spin this around, and I'm going to click on this surface right here, and then I'm going to click on Project Geometry and start here. Now I'm going to grab a rectangle, and I'm going to hover over this corner right here, and the width of that we want to be 0.75. I'm going to hit my tab on my keyboard. The height of this, we want it to be 1.25. And if I zoom out a little bit, I'm going to click on Dimension, and I want to go from this corner to this edge, and I want that to be 0.5. So many of us are getting better at dimensioning for shape, but we also have to dimension for location. So this is where we are dimensioning for location. It is going to be 0.5 from the edge over to the left. Let's add the rectangle here. So I'm going to just draw a rectangle, and I'm just going to kind of freehand it until now when I grab some dimensions. I want from this edge to this line, so I'm clicking on each one of those lines. That is going to be a distance of 0.25. Then I'm going to click on my top right here, and that distance is also going to be 0.25. The height of this, so I clicked on my vertical line, is going to be 0.5, and the distance from the top of this to the top of that line is 0.25. All right, I'm going to finish this sketch, and then we're going to, I had to click on 3D model. I'm going to click on this part right here. I'm going to change the direction, and I want it to come forward 0.5. And go ahead and hit OK. Let's see what happens when I hit my home button. It's going to spin around. So the view that we're looking at is something like this. However, we've got this corner that does not exist right here. You can see this is curved and mine is not. So I'm going to use my fillet tool, which might be new to us, and I'm going to click on this line right here, and I'm going to click on that line right there. Right now it goes to a dimension of 0.125. I'm going to change that to 0.25, hit OK, and I think that that looks a little bit better and very similar to this right here. So I'm going to go with those dimensions right there. One reason that this and this do not look identical is because we're looking at an oblique drawing here, where we're looking at an isometric drawing here. So this is a good way to check your isometrics, and then also it's a really cool way to check your multi-view drawings. I would call this my front view if I were drawing this on multi-view paper because it has the longest dimension and the most detail. So if this is my front view, I can right-click this and I can make this current view my front view. That would make this my top view, and that would make this my right view. Please don't forget to save your work. So File, Save As. Make sure you save it in the right folder. If you're in my class, I want you to save it in your Google Drive. Call this Activity 2-4, number 8, and then finally your initials. Make sure you show your teacher your good work. Thanks. See you.